to see if you were there waiting for me, but you were not. So I sailed back with a broken heart. I waited till 3 to see if you would come looking for me, but you did not. So I fell asleep with a broken heart.
Hey, what a day. Today is Thursday, the 23rd of April. Hey, listen, we got another month or so of Corona, and we might as well just get used to it. I don't care how you slice it. This is the recovery room. T-Bone.
Christy.
Hello. And this is a recovery room. We talk about everything. Our primary focus is opioid addiction and recovery as best we can, get into recovery. But we talk about a lot of things because it's kind of like it is turned out as, because our main focus when we started this was just to reach out and be a vehicle of some kind of hope or something for individuals that were out there and caught up in the struggle. And and as it turns out, going from this novice sort of wannabe helper in this thing, I've spent a couple of years or so on this, and we found out that it's all connected. It's just all connected, and also it doesn't really matter what your habit is. Especially if it's a destructive one. And we're not comparing like my healthy habit of playing tennis every day with my other habit that I used to have of getting high every day, all day, as much as I could. And so, the reality is that all the things, it doesn't matter whether it's gambling, it doesn't matter whether it's overeating, sex, at this point, they all tend to come from some level of
shopping,
of
depression,
pain.
mental, physical.
Feeling some kind of void. And so and we would just like for you to think about filling that void with some life, filling that void with some things that are productive and progressive and whatever other pros you want to call it. That's something positive, progressive. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. God, you got to be. I'm tired for you. I'm tired just thinking about, what you might be going through out there in this really crazy world in which we're living in now, where we've got two national medical emergencies on top of one another, and the one right now is overshadowing the other, because we're talking about at least 100 and something people dying every day from overdoses. It's a consistent number. That and it's not like there's there haven't been these peaks and valleys. There's no model to use to determine when it's tapering down. I guess the less deaths, but you got people that are going unreported. I know a couple of people that their death was never reported, and so certainly don't make the news as statistics, and anyway, statistics. You know what I mean? You can make a statistic do whatever you want to do. Anybody that's gone through enough math classes, I think they even talked about statistics in high school.
You had ratios or something.
Yeah, ratios and proportions.
Yeah.
It's the reality of the deal. This goes up, this does some other thing. You got a constant thing that goes up and down. You got something that's affected by it on a regular basis. And so, the reality is in this particular scenario, this particular equation, you've got a COVID-19 pandemic that is totally overshadowing the opioid pandemic, the opioid epidemic, the overdose as it is now epidemic, because it's gone past just use. Now it's about the overdose and overdose deaths. And so I mean, we got to keep this stuff up front, because these people deserve as much attention and as much support and whatever as anybody else, because they're somebody's child, somebody's mother.
And I think right now in this time, as our excuse me, our overdose rate and relapse rates are increasing, our suicide rates are too.
Absolutely.
And so that is just all that needs attention. And the mental health status right now is huge. We've seen it firsthand. It's huge.
It really is. And we don't have a formula. We don't have anything to deal with it. But primarily it's put them out on the street and let them fend for themselves. You know what I mean? And it's sad, but it's true. I mean, us. I mean, our whole mission and goal in this whole thing is to help as many people as we possibly can. But in the course of this, man, you find out a really horrible truth, is that you can't help everybody. You want to. You think that you're smart enough and you got what it takes, and you're passionate enough, but you just can't help everybody.
Not until they're ready.
Yeah.
Until they're ready, or they're forced to.
Yeah. So, but that doesn't prevent you, because that's what I pray every day before I do the show. I pray that there's something that I can say, that there's some person out there, and it may be somebody that's been a regular has been listening to us this whole 2 years, and thank you guys that are out there, because there are some people that have been following this particular show for over 2 years, and I appreciate you. I really do. We appreciate you. It feels like family. It feels like some real connection. Recovery Room family. And if you haven't, sorry, I got an itchy eye. If you haven't joined the Recovery Room family yet, at least on Facebook, just go to the Recovery Room, type in the Recovery Room in the search thing, and the dude in the little bed will come up, and we approve them as they come in. Some people, I guess, are automatically approved. Not quite sure how the parameters are on that, but there's a lot of good information.
As soon as you pop up on my phone, I will approve you. You're welcome into our family. Share your stories. Hopefully maybe get some enlightenment from someone else. And everybody, I think we have a really good, solid fam here. And if you have a question, post it on the wall, and between Buck or Ken, somebody will get back.
Gonna respond.
We have an active family here. So
I make it a point to do my best to
see that.
Yeah, it's the Recovery Room. Yeah, that's what they see when you. That's what you see when you go to the search engine for the Recovery Room. Thanks, son. And so we've got people. It's like a family. So go on there. There's some really good information, and share your testimonies if you have any. If you got any questions, if you got anything you want to contribute to that, we encourage you to do that. And let's keep it like real, guys. I mean, I'm not here to monitor adults. We're not here to monitor adults. If it's not relevant, it's not pertinent, it's not going to help somebody, including yourself, then let's just not do it.
It's not like a drama-filled situation.
Yeah.
It's like finding a solution.
Yeah.
We all have issues. We all have problems.
Yeah.
Issues with issues, and
right.
It's a problem-solving outlet, not a drama type deal.
And and recovery is not one sock fits all.
True.
You know what I mean? Because there's something that maybe you did in your recovery that could help somebody that I couldn't even begin to address it. A lot of the female issues, I can't begin to address the issues that a female will have to go through. I mean, I've done some research and all, and I know that there's a high level of abuse in relationships that addiction's a part of it, and it's usually obviously the female that gets the abuse, whether it is that they're abusing to go out and to sell themselves to get money, or they got a jealousy thing because the person has to go out and sell themselves to get some money, or there's an imagination that the person is doing that based on the drugs, making them psychotic. I mean, so there's a lot of different variables to this thing, and we're not here trying to tell you that we know how you gonna get clean, because I have no earthly idea. All that I can tell you is that you gotta make a decision to quit.
And you've got to make the decision, and you've got to do the work. And
There's that 4-letter word.
And maybe, I mean, for some, like, I personally, I'm going on 7 weeks now.
I've lost count. I stopped counting.
And I haven't been to any
It's
meetings,
all good.
and I made this decision, and I took this on my own, and it was rough, and we had some other side stuff going on, and it was a struggle, but we absolutely did it, and it's absolutely possible, but you got to do the work, and it could be no work, you just have to make the decision, or maybe you need to really go to the meetings and follow up on that.
Yeah.
It just kind of, depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Because, meetings before worked for me for a good while.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I mean, we're talking about the coronavirus, and as you're going through all this, we also got the corona. That is a big part of this. I mean, you've got people not able to get their treatments now because doctors are not, wanting to get affected by people. You got people that are doing methadone that the clinics are closed. Medically assisted treatment, the clinics are closed, whatever. You got people who can't get into treatment facilities because the facilities are shut down. Meetings are shut down.
they do have some outside meetings, or they're doing like Zoom meetings, or they're getting together and uniting, like NA and AA groups or Suncoast, but as far as the rest, you're kind of.
No, I strongly suggest that you find yourself in the rooms of NA and AA, and you get yourself some good support system, and take some time and get yourself a sponsor, get yourself some accountability partners.
I've had more people in the last probably week and a half ask me from detoxing from Suboxone, methadone, and just in general how to right now seek addiction or alcohol help.
Yeah.
And it's like just coming in. I think everybody it's to that point, and now can be the time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing about the recovery room page. Go on there again. There's a host of resources that maybe you didn't know about that we can share with you. My producer's schizophrenic, I think.
My shit ain't working right now.
Yeah.
That part.
Anyway, so yeah, there's a whole host, and like right now it's really tough, and that's what I'm really concerned about. My fellow addicts who are currently really still active, because with this whole thing that's going on, I mean, the game has changed and everything. We talk so much about whether we know that they're calling it a pandemic, but I kind of think of it as a panacea, and a panacea is something that affects and changes everything, and I don't know of one aspect of this life that and it is not, and let me be clear on how I feel about it, and it's one man's opinion. It's not the corona itself, it is the mindset about the corona that has affected each and every person on the planet.
Perception is key.
Perception and the perception. I mean, and it's like, how are you looking at it? We asked a question earlier this week or last week. It's like, how you see life? I mean, do you see it? Is the glass half empty? Is the glass half full? Or could you care less and you just drink the water?
Oblivious. Where you at?
And so,
I already said we were on like April day 435. And I think a lot of people may be a little lost right now.
yeah, and
Find
this
your
is the
way.
time. This is the
Let's
time to
find your
find your
way.
way. And we got so many people. You know, they always say that an addict left alone is in bad company. You know, and so what I really want you guys to do is to stay around some people. Don't find yourself isolating, shooting. You know what I mean, or getting high, however you do it. I mean, because don't get me wrong, it ain't just injecting. And people are dying from inhaling. They're dying from ingesting pill-wise or whatever. People are dying in all kinds of ways, and so don't be home alone, because you know that one time you go to sleep will be the time that you don't wake up again. And you know, I don't know, maybe there's some people, and I realize this, and it's another one of those difficult things. There's some people out here who are giving up. They've given up, and they're wanting and willing to die.
Well, I wasn't wanting or willing, but I was always a lone like closet user. So it's like, even if they give you Narcan, it's like, who's supposed to administer it if you're all by yourself? It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, right.
So, you know, just
Yeah. Just try not to find yourself alone. And those people who are family members or spouses or whatever of that addicted person, try to make sure that you stay in contact with them. You know, put forth that extra
Don't shut 'em out.
effort. Don't shut them down right now. You hear that question all the time. It's like, you know, when the person goes down and the mother or the spouse or whatever, their first question is always, what could I have done differently? Well, don't wait. Wait broke the wagon. Don't wait until the person is gone to question what you could have done differently. Ask what you can do differently right now while the person is still alive.
once you get the phone call, it's too late.
It's too late.
I had
you
too
know?
many of those. Way too many of those.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Ask now. Get it done now. And you know, the key element in the whole thing is love. And I don't care whether it's tough love. I don't care how you slice it. Love is love is love. If somebody knows that you care about them, they're just a little bit more apt to maybe want to get themselves right. You know, the majority of us addicts that get out there and we get lost in the sauce and we don't care about it anymore. We're the ones that you know, we felt like the world gave up on us. You know, nobody cares. You know, everybody thinks I'm a loser.
There comes my point, though. I understand we all have stories, but you got to take your accountability.
Accountability is
You
key.
need an accountability partner at this point, but you have to take accountability
for
for your
yourself,
past.
yeah.
That's the first step. You have to admit it and take that accountability first off bat
Yeah.
before you can go anywhere. You can't play the.
Yeah.
Something happened. No, you like we were talking. Common denominator. You got to work on you. Self-love, self-care, self-realization, reality. You.
And
It's not pretty.
I can hear the choruses. Of, man, kiss my butt. You know, you make it sound like it's so easy. I mean, you do it, just do this, that. I've been abused. You don't know what I've been through, and I
He
you know,
has seen the repercussions of what
know,
I've been through.
Yeah, so I mean, this whole thing
It's
is
it's a process. It's
yeah.
a process, but you have to do it if you want to make that next step.
Yeah.
You have to grow. It's a growing experience. It truly is, but you have to decide you're doing it.
And you know what? And this is what one of the things that we don't talk about a lot is the stigma, because the stigma was one of the main things that we started this on. Is that this stigma of that this is some junkie person, you know what I mean, and they're not worthy of whatever because they're criminal minded or they're morally corrupt or they're just losers. They're you know what I mean. There's somebody that's back by the you know dumpster shooting drugs, and that's just so far from the case. You know, it's not. It's not that. It's somebody's daughter. It's somebody's mother. It's somebody's, you know, whatever. They got this whole NIMBY thing. Not in my backyard.
If you haven't looked on the recovery room earlier today, I posted a post from a child that had written a letter to his mother of going, okay, well, first off, I'm going to ask you, how do you want to be cremated or buried? You know, and he's like, I have questions for you, and then you want you to answer these for me. It's pretty much knowing that you're going to overdose, and this child's asking his mother, what am I supposed to do with you because you're on that ledge? How's a child supposed to feel like that? It's on there. Go in the recovery room and read that. It will, every time you even get a trigger, read that right there. Sums it all up.
And what it says too is that it's a family disease, and that's what I was going with the stigmatism.
Sorry.
You know, the stigma. It's like nobody wants to admit that it's their kid or it's their whoever or whatever that is the one that's addicted. Nah, you killed me with this, man.
Stop it.
You killed me
Get the
with it.
thing lined up.
No,
Right.
line up the other camera first.
Talk.
Anyway.
We love you, Don.
It's a family disease is the reality, and guys, just realize that the storm is not your own. You know, as you're me, poor me, and you know your mother, somebody, your kid, somebody suffering.
Hi, Buck.
You know, what's up, Pastor?
Look,
Somebody suffering.
Look, maybe that the storm came to clear your path,
Yeah.
not to come make destruction. Most of us, we've already made our destruction. Let's clear our path.
Yeah, and realize the storm is not your own. You know, don't think that you're the only one that's affected.
That is your panacea.
Yeah, no, it affects everybody. It affects your coworkers. It affects your friends. It has a devastating effect. And then these days, and here's I did this play years ago, and it was called Miss Saigon. And in that play, there was a song that has stuck in my mind since then, and the name of the song was The Movie in My Mind. The movie in my mind. You see, we all have these really vivid and awesome imaginations. Sometimes we use them for good, and sometimes we use them for all kinds of different things, fantasies and all kinds of stuff. But the movie in your mind, if you are the lead character in the movie in your mind, what is your character? What are you? Are you a heroine? Or a hero? I didn't mean heroine. I mean, like, are you doing a heroine like the female hero? You know, are you the first one that dies in the movie?
No, I'm the caregiver, like medic that saves everybody, just trying to take care of everybody.
So you do it with like guns and stuff. You running around shooting people and.
Allegedly. You know it. You think I'd go in there with nothing?
Yeah, you better have something. I'm going and fighting them bears with no toothpick.
I'll fight some bears though. You protect your own.
Yeah.
Protect your own.
But what is the movie in your mind? Because you see, you are the producer, you are the director, and you are the star of this film. You're the producer, you're the director, you're the star. You're the one that you call the shots, baby.
I haven't watched any well, we've watched some bad movies recently, maybe 2 good ones. But besides that, I haven't watched really movies in a long time, so I can't really think of actual role. Hey, I want to pull off some like Angelina Jolie stuff or something.
But if you're okay, so let's say you're the mother in the film. What kind of mother are you?
I would learn not to be the enabler, but I'm learning not to be too much of a friend. Keeping the authority, but keeping that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But in my case, that's just because my kid's upbringing. I kind of have that like guilt issue going on that teeters on too much of a friend and not much of a, and so it's something I have to work on. But it's finding that balance because I'm getting to know them again. They're 16 and 18. They're kind of like little adults now, but it's figuring it out.
So your answer would be that you would be the one of those great movie moms that you're there when the people need you and blah blah blah. You're understanding. You're able to communicate a situation such that they understand it, such that you're not talking down to them.
No, they're still here, aren't they?
They're still here.
They're still here.
Okay, let's say you're the addict in the film. What?
I played that role too, and my kids grew up knowing me as an addict mother, and so there hence some of my hesitation and my parenting skills with them now that they're so much older, and relearning myself and rebuilding that relationship with them. It's a process, but God, it's beautiful when you see everybody just reunited with their children. And thankfully, I mean, I've had mine all along, not necessarily with me, but I've had them, and it's a process.
Yeah.
So I, as the addict mom, I was always very truthful with my kids. I mean, my kids have known the stages and substances and everything I've gone through for probably the last 9 years at least. So I mean, they've been run through it, but they're survivors, and I
the movie
got 'em
in
that
your
much.
mind. The movie in your mind, folks. Make up write that script, right? Write that script and include in it your outcomes. You know how movies work, right? It starts off and you got the beginning and you're introduced to the characters and you're supposed to develop a kind of attachment to them, and then they go through whatever it is, and then either you go, oh, I didn't think that was going to happen, that wasn't supposed to happen, and blah blah blah. You've got the climax where all the attention is there, and then you've got the finale. And so write that script, because I would like to suggest also that you find that like the height of your addiction, let that be your climax, let that be that high point in your film. Let that be the focal point of your film. Put your eye on your addiction, and then do some kind of clever way, write some kind of clever way that you escape near disaster and come out on the other side, with the building blowing up behind you. Bomb!
run, baby, roll, baby, go, baby.
And you know that walk. You walk in, the building's blowing up behind you. Boom!
Like a boss.
I survived, baby. I'm like a phoenix coming up out of the ashes. Paint that movie in your mind, folks.
Right.
Paint a movie in your mind. We got this real great imagination, and what happens with that imagination, it stems most of our action, if you want to know the truth about it. And so we've got this thing called the reticular activating system, and it's that thing that really we see and we think and we long and we think. Even we can see smell.
You can see, smell.
You can see smell. In this imagination that we have, you can see smell. You can see hear. You know what I mean? And so all of it's all attached together, and it's all in this thing, because I guarantee you, as we sit here and we look at this monitor, I know you see one thing on the monitor and I see something completely different. It's the same thing, but we see things differently. I mean, these are our own eyes that we view this world through our own experiences. I had a conversation last night. My ex-drummer, God rest his soul, passed away. God, it's had to be so long ago now. I can't even remember. 8 years ago, and his son calls me on occasion. Because I got a connection with his dad, and I really appreciate that, actually. And we have these conversations, and when I say that it's a family disease, I can hear in the conversation, and I can see how that works, how there is a genetic component to it, and then there is then a societal component to it. But what I found, and what I'm grateful for, is that he didn't really have the greatest relationship with his dad, but now that he has gone on to paradise, he misses him and longs to know more about him, and he reaches out to people that knows him and has, we have these talks. And so got a lot of information, and he's 33 years old. This is what I know about. Here's what I found out about 33-year-olds. They got a lot of information.
Keep them quiet.
They got a lot of information. They're sponges. They're like, they're like Google. You know what I mean? He's talking to me about Pope Benedict, and I'm like, who?
Is that on CNN?
You know what I mean? And so, but he's done his he's done his study, and that's great. And so my suggestion to him is like, okay, as the great Martin Luther King once said, don't get caught up in the paralysis of analysis. Don't get all this information in your brain and you're trying to conjure up this thing and try to analyze this. And the number one thing is God. Folks, stop analyzing God. I mean, don't worry about whether it's Jesus or Jehovah or Jehoshaphat or whomever. Know that there's a God. Know that there's something that holds us together. If God is gravity, because without gravity, we'd be really screwed.
You better hope that everything that goes up comes down.
Yeah, man. So don't get caught up, and you need to recognize the power higher than yourself that holds all this together, and that's it. You don't have to, worship and praise and all that. You just have to recognize it, and then move on from that to understanding that all of the religions and all of the philosophies have been about how you deal with your fellow man. Okay, and so at the basis of all that has to be love. Otherwise, it's not really a religion that is gonna last, because it's you got to have tolerance, and you got to have those things that are important to making your space and other people's space a better space to live in for this little short period of time that we're gonna be here. So God is love. The language of God, whatever God you choose, is love. Okay, clearly. Bottom line, if it's not, it's something else. It's not love. It's not spirituality. Let's put it that way. It is religion. It is dogma. It's institution. We're not talking about that. None of us go to the Vatican every day. You know what I mean? We have to at some point determine what is right and what is wrong, and approach life and people in that way. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Like your basic
What
just
is wrong with
morals.
that? That's the way it is.
Treat others how you want to be treated. Keep your hands to yourself. If it's not yours, don't touch it. And
God.
keep your nose clean.
Man. Anyway, so if nobody's told you that they love you today, mwah, we love you, all the things, and pass that on. You know what I mean? Pass that on. If there's somebody in your life right now that you're having some difficulties with, and you just kicked the camera or something, Don. Something happened. Anyway, if you if you've got somebody that you are feuding with, or you haven't forgiven for something that's gone on for way too long, please.
What did I say? If your hands are full of grudges, they're not open for blessings.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Let it go. They call it. It's like the taking the pill, the poison, and expecting the other person to die. It doesn't make any sense. Forgiveness is about, first of all, forgiving yourself for having them stupid thoughts for too doggone long. For nothing, not doing you any good. You don't benefit at all from holding grudges. So
stress, and it builds that stress fat in your
toxic.
belly. Ooh, it's not good for you.
Yeah, it's toxic.
Cortisol, cortisol, whatever that's
something.
called. It's not good for you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, and especially now in this time of Corona, we are in the midst of really finding out how we really view our relationship with those closest to us. We've had to spend more time with them since we've known them. More time with them since we've known them, at least on a consistent basis. I mean, you used to be able to run out and say, "Honey, I'm going fishing" or something, Now, lately, you can't even leave your house, and so you're finding out a whole lot about yourself and that other person that you're with.
We go fishing. So yeah, we're still together like 23 and a half hours a day.
Yeah, yeah. So, what is somebody saying so sorry to Buck about?
His niece passed from an overdose, and she was
I'm
4
so
months
sorry.
pregnant.
Oh, you see what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? This is just tragic. That should be on the news tonight. If you want to talk about some news, that somebody that was with child had an addiction strong enough that they would not stop using even though they were pregnant. And then this is not a judgment on that person, because God bless and wish that it never happened, and is somebody's niece or nephew or daughter, But I'm talking about how insidious. I'm talking about how powerful this addiction is to opioids and to meth and all these things that are out here these days. It's a powerful addiction. I think that Corona should be secondary to this.
Well, I think between the lives lost and the baby, I mean, and
the baby lost.
The detox miscarriages. Recently been there. I mean, it's huge. It's huge. I'm sorry, Buck.
Yeah, Buck. Buck. You know me. I wasn't putting it down. I'm just saying how crazy it is. And guys, let's pray for the family, please. Because we were just talking about that, right? We were just talking about how this thing, the storm is not your own, how it affects everybody around you. I mean, Buck's an uncle, but Buck is affected by this loss, and so should we all be. We should all be going, okay, we got to do something about this. We can't just keep letting people just and especially, listen, we're talking about age 19 to 54 is the hardest hit group in this opioid overdose epidemic, pandemic, you want to call it. It's happening around the world, so that makes it a pandemic, doesn't it? Yeah. I mean, so and so it's like we've got to be up in arms about this still, because guess what's happening right now? The overdoses are going to increase because of this isolation. The overdoses are going to increase because the drug dealer right now has to. He's not making as much money, and he's got to stretch his stuff. And fentanyl is so cheap, and he's going to be selling straight fentanyl, which you can't even measure. I don't care how you do it. You can't. There's no dosage for fentanyl. Okay?
You can do the same dose one day and be like, that was okay. You can do the same dose the next day and be on the floor. That there's nothing consistent or safe or reliable about any of it.
And it's scary now. It's as scary as ever right now, with all this stuff going on. And so, man, I don't know. I say it every day, and I'm gonna say it today. Somebody called somebody and said, you guys talk about the same thing every day. Yep. Absolutely, and we'll be talking about it tomorrow.
It's
too.
One day at a time.
Because somebody didn't hear it the last time we said it. Okay, and if you didn't hear it then, you can hear it now. It's time to stop, folks. I don't care what it is, and I'm not saying that it's easy, because God know it ain't easy. I can still feel the pain, okay? And this is years and years and years ago, but I can still feel that pain. I can still remember tossing and turning in the bed with my stomach, doing jumping jacks and flips and all kinds of stuff, and my muscles so tight that I felt like I was oh my God, I know what you got to go through.
I'm only a few months out of it, and it's very fresh in my mind. And thank you.
It's worth it.
No. I would rather fight to stay clean to freaking fight to get sober any day of the week.
Man.
Any day. Any day.
Yeah. And it's a fight. I mean, it came up right here. Was it on this phone? All right. No amount of clean time can make us immune to our addiction. We are not exempt from the challenges of life. Recovery is an everyday, all day, and just for today process.
Love it.
You know what I'm saying, guys? And so let recovery be. I mean, I got to tell you, I know too many people who have come out of. I mean, you see the before and after pictures. I know too many people in them before and after pictures. I know them, and I know where they've come from, and I know that once you get there, you'll be so happy, man. You'll be so happy to live a recovery life. You'll be so happy that you made the decision and you stuck with it. And just like that thing says, you'll fight for your recovery every day and also celebrate it. That's what I love about our group over there, Celebrate Recovery. You'll celebrate that recovery. You'll scream it to the top of your lungs in a crowded room, about how happy you are that you are recovering.
So good.
Oh my God.
Ooh. Once you get to that point,
Yeah.
from the rooftops.
From the
Hey.
rooftops. Be patient with your progress and never stop believing in yourself. Practice makes perfect. Yeah, here you go. All of the crackheads, meth addicts, and alcoholics out there stuck in their own kind of hell, the miracle is I made it out. I am proof that any addict can choose a new way to live. Hello, we got too many examples. Got too many examples. Let's see. Oh, you didn't. This is my favorite quote of all time. I got a bunch of them of all times, but this is my one of all times. You did not wake up today to be mediocre. You did not wake up today to stay into your status quo. You did not wake up today to continue the destruction. You woke up today
To be the success story.
to be the success story. Speaking of success
I didn't
stories,
know what you were going to say. But
yeah,
that was
that was. I wasn't going to say that, but that's exactly what I was meaning. And speaking of success stories, we want to give a shout out to our good old sponsors here at the Recovery Room. We love them all. In fact, we had old Dawn in here from 421 Sweet Treats
Spice up
today
your
singing.
next
It was
event with
awesome.
the Hammock Haven Experience. To find out more, go to thehammockhaven.com or call 941-201-5226. The Hammock Haven. Chillax a minute.
421 Sweet Treats is Anna Maria Island's sweetest little five-star cafe, located at 5337 Gulf Drive on beautiful Holmes Beach. For reservations, please call 941-281-2335. Life is sweet and full of treats.
POWarriors.com, the website that's dedicated to connecting our armed forces and first responders to businesses that appreciate their valor. For more information, go to POWarriors.com or call 336-501-0017. PO Warriors, protecting our warriors that protect us.
All right. Shout out to our sponsors. Hey, and in particular that the Oniko Farmers Market, the OFM. Actually, we're here and in the building right now. God bless them. They've allowed us to be their media outlet and allowed us to set up in the space even before it opened. See, life is good, man. See, when it was a time when they would not have let me around all this equipment. Leave me by myself
6 feet. 6 feet.
with all this stuff. Wow, I come a long way, baby.
You're doing good, babe.
Woo, Lord, the pawn shop. Is this yours? Yep. It is now. Hey, listen, guys. We're some of the most clever people. Addicts and alcoholics and all the people that are clever enough to get what it is that they, that they love, that they would do anything for. Man, we do some clever stuff to get. We do some ruthless stuff too. You know what I mean? We do some that's just dirty kind of stuff. You know what I mean? And so again, on the other side of that, you know what's happening to me over the last little while is that I have had a better time, or as good a time during this corona epidemic that I've had ever, because nothing really has changed. You gotta be about your business however it goes. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't think that I'm callous and I'm not. I understand the 6 feet and I understand all of this stuff. You know what I mean? But I also understand that I've been given time to really work my game. Because people don't plan to fail. People just fail to plan. You know what I mean? So this is the time that you should be planning your great escape. Because guess what? A whole bunch of y'all when this thing does come back, your job ain't gonna be there. You might be trying to figure out something else to do right now.
Back to them outlets.
And if you were so discouraged before this happened with the job that you had, that you hate getting up and going every day, then you looking forward to going back to what you hate going to every day. This is weird. Figure out something else while you got some time. Right? You should be writing your novel. Writing your novel, doing something right now while you got all this time. Don't be no couch potato. I did it for 2 weeks, bro. Let me tell you something.
I did it for 4.
I did it for 2 weeks, and it was not me. I put on about 15 pounds, and anyway. But no, I mean, this is the time that you have. This is all you have. Okay? They ain't gonna give you no more. You can't get none of the ones that you wasted back. Okay? And so don't let the procrastination and conformity of it all get you all bogged down in the oh woe is me and pour me another drink and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Step up to the plate. Now's the time. Take a swipe at the ball, man. Take the shot, whatever it is.
Not the shot.
Not the shot.
Take a shot.
Take a shot. I'm talking about a basketball.
Basketball. Yeah.
Or archery.
I was thinking baseball, but okay. For you archers out there, grab your bows and let's go.
Take the shot. That's all I can tell you, man. This is what we got. Listen, we haven't shouted out our man Don Dean. Don has been like so committed and supportive, and we really, really do appreciate it. We don't take it for granted.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you.
And here's one. The worst thing is watching someone drown and not be able to convince them to save themselves by just standing up. You're drowning in 2 feet of water and you're 6 foot tall.
Stupid.
Come on, man. Come on now.
Decide to help yourself. Take that.
Man, Etta May raised you to be like that.
And some, it's that, take that momentum and that get to, the depressed, get out of bed, go sit in the sun for a little bit, try to inspire, bring some sort of light into your life right now. I think that's very important.
Listen to the birds.
Yeah, it's just some sort of something you need.
Especially that bird that goes,
Yeah. Stop it.
That's what the dolphin said for dolphin.
He's got it right, man. Nothing's impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible.
And one day you'll thank yourself for never giving up.
Yes, yeah. If you were to start just right now today, 6 months from now, your life would be a completely different place. We have this thing called the 2190. 21, if you do anything, and we've suggested it be positive, and I'm reading around, and it's the stuff that we just came up with. I'm seeing that Tony Robbins and all the rest of the people, they all say the same thing, because this is how it works, right? If you do anything for 21 days, it becomes a habit. Okay? If you do it for 90 days, it becomes a lifestyle. Okay? So I suggest for 21 days, and this is the same thing they said, that you need to start your day off right. Okay? For the next 21 days, I want you to start your day off right. And what I mean by that is waking up with some sort of gratitude for something. Something that you're grateful for. If you're lucky, you can roll over and look at your significant other and say, "Oh, that's my boo,
Have a boo.
love my boo," you know, and you start your day off with that. But but think about something else positive. Think of that time that you held your little baby and you looked into their eyes and they just cooled and they just looked like they love you so much.
Or you're looking at your grown son John and
Yeah,
a picture of you when you were
yeah,
younger and going,
yeah.
"That's my boy."
Yeah,
This is precious moments.
You know, it's crazy, and I'm sitting there holding my little baby girl who's now 30 years old. You know, beauty of pictures. You know, but think about something that makes you feel good. Start your day off being grateful for something that's going on in your life. You know, maybe it's that you just got another day. You know, you woke up and you were able to open your eyes and take a breath, and and obviously your heart was still beating and all those kind of things, and be grateful for that. You know, and then
He locked himself out.
and then write down. This is something that's important, because something about paper makes your dreams and your goals and your plans more real, it gives them life. And so I suggest you take a 3x5 index card and write down on there how you like your day to go. You know, and not wishful stuff, not like I wish that I hit the lottery, none of that kind of stuff. But what are the things that you can do in the course of your day that's going to make your life better? Write down about 3 or 4 of them and then visualize them. Use that reticular activating system to visualize those goals, those things that you really want to do and what they look like and what they feel like. In fact, like I said, because you can see smell, like imagine the smell of like when you walk into the place and they got the pastries going or whatever it is. You know what's really weird is like I live over right by a Merita where they bake the bread. And you ride by there, man, and you smell that thing, and it's the same smell every day, and you just feel good.
I got it when we went to the park the other day, and the salt water hit me.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah. Bomb. Yeah.
the senses are
Yeah.
all.
So write those things down, and then on the back of the card, write the acronym for ASK. ASK. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. ASK. Ask and it shall be given. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be open. See, because if you don't ask, they say, ask not, get not. Okay? And if you're not seeking it, very rarely is it going to come knocking on your door. Now, don't get me wrong. It can. I mean, we live in a universe, in a world where it can happen, but it happens a little bit more, it's more available when you're seeking it, because you can see the opportunities. You can make the opportunities, okay? And then knock on the door. I mean, don't be afraid to see what's behind door number 1. You know what I mean? Knock on the door and let the people know that you're out there. You know? Let them know you're out there. Everything that you need in this life is right there in front of you. You've got to be able to recognize it. We live in the what year? 2020. And that's about the vision, baby. It's about the 2020 vision. Okay?
I guess if this wasn't the time, when would it be?
In Corona, then open your eyes. Listen.
Focus. It's going down.
Let me tell you something. Like I said, this thing has affected, it is a panacea. It has affected each and every part of this life. First of all, you've got to where oil is a negative $37 a gallon, a barrel. Negative. You kicked the camera again, Don. A negative. Flick me over, please. Thank you. It's a negative $37. In addition to that, because of this coronavirus and the fact that those who are underprivileged, more often than not, is affecting a proportionally higher percentage of Black, Latinos, and those that have some pre-existing conditions. And so those people now become the most important people, because if you decide that you're going to go back out there, then you've got to make sure that those people that are the most susceptible to the corona are taken care of. It's about doggone time as far as I'm concerned. Here's my rant. I mean, but it's across the board, man. Everybody's important now. You know, there's no, black or white. This thing don't affect rich or poor. It is almost like the opioid epidemic as well. There's no socioeconomic background that this thing prefers.
You've got between the opiate and the abortion rate and the pandemic. I mean,
the foster care.
Numbers are.
It's crazy.
Oh my gosh, the foster care, even lost babies.
Yeah.
Where are those numbers at?
Why wasn't this on CNN? Babies born addicted. You know, what's happening to them in the hospitals where all this corona is going on?
Trying to withdraw babies and CPS or whoever they are coming in and taking mamas and, where's the attention? Or, are they CPS allowed in the hospitals? And they
I don't know. Small minds can't comprehend big spirits. Be great. You have to be willing. To be great, you have to be willing to be mocked, hated, and misunderstood. Stay strong. Pay more attention to your creator than your critics. And your creditors.
The who?
Worry about your character and not your reputation, because your character is who you are. Your reputation is only what people think of you.
And your past.
You are no longer that person. So when the people show up looking for that person, they should not find you.
And them calling you should not affect you. I don't care if you have one day clean. I give you mad props. Keep that one day and leave the rest behind. Keep your mind clear and keep moving forward. Even if it's one day, just do something, just day at a time.
Yes.
That was one of my Yogi Berraisms, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not that person. When you show up looking for me, I won't be there.
No. And when you're looking for a reaction, you're no longer gonna get it. I've let that go.
We're getting. Is the show over? Oh, no. What you got going on there?
Mine is delayed back.
Hey, listen to this one. Waiting to come to the Lord when you get your life cleaned up is like waiting to go to the emergency room when you stop bleeding. He doesn't love some future version of you. He loves us in our mess.
I was always the black sheep. Then I started going to meetings and found the rest of my herd. And it is true.
Be careful when you're following the masses. Sometimes the M is silent.
I saw it. The only thing The only thing I abused more than drugs was God's grace and mercy, and I'm grateful it never ran out.
That one.
Thank you, sir.
Kindness. Loaning someone your strength instead of reminding them of their weakness. Allowing somebody to know some wandering soul that's out there and feeling lost, to be able to touch them and know that there's still life and there's still hope. Be a hope dealer, guys. I used to be a hopeless dope fiend. Now I'm a dopeless hope fiend. And our goal here is to spread hope. Hope is so much better than dope. Guarantee you.
I don't think the healing process ever ends. I think there comes a time when you decide that your wounds aren't going to stop you from becoming the person you want to be. Self-love is a lifelong journey, and sometimes it's harder than others. You just have to commit.
Commit being that C word.
I love that. This is like,
So
when the wounds are when it's not going to stop. I mean, how many decades or years or can you just be out there and
wandering generality?
Just tired, and then you get to that point and
find out what it's like to be a meaningful specific.
Wow.
Most of us find ourselves being wandering generality. That's from Zig Ziglar.
Even some, we can all be functional users or alcoholics, and but at the end of the day, you're still strapped by something. You're still controlled by something, and it's not a good feeling. It can go from worse to not so bad, but.
Controlling yourself. If you're looking for that one person that's going to change your life, Look in the mirror.
That's you.
Guys, it's not your attitude, man. It's not your aptitude. It's not how smart you are. My greatest thoughts got me in the worst trouble. It is your attitude that determines your altitude, your station in life. And so we encourage you guys, if you're actively using today, make a decision to stop.
Commit
today. Okay.
You can do
You
it.
can do it. It's not easy, but it's damn worth it. I guarantee you. It is so worth it. I can't even begin to tell you. And
Give
so,
it that month to create a different habit.
yeah. So what's the day? Thursday. I guess we'll see you guys on Monday. Love somebody, hug somebody, forgive somebody,
Call
somebody.
somebody
you love. Okay. Peace. So it is.
You sailed away and left me with nothing to say. But you already knew I would come searching anyway. So I sailed across the sea to see if you were there waiting for me. But you were not. So I sailed back with a broken heart. I waited till 3 to see if you would come looking for me. But you did not. So I fell asleep with a broken heart.
Spice up